This podcast contains discussions of mature themes, including violence, which may not be suitable for all audiences. Please proceed with caution. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome everybody to Dark Talk. I'm your host Dan, and today I'm joined by one of my bros, Paul. How you doing, Paul?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And our usual host, James, he's away on a top secret mission in the United States, so we didn't want to miss the week of recording. So today we're not going to be doing The Running Man. We are going to be doing Terrifier with our special guest host, our friend Phil. How are you doing, Phil?
Hello, listeners. How are you? I'm all right, guys.
Good to see you.
Great start.
It's quite surreal to see you on this call.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen you two in a voice call before. So, yeah.
And me and Phil don't live that far apart, so it's weird that I could probably throw a stone at your house from here, and we're just like on a video call.
Oh, so that's who's been throwing shit at your house in the middle of the night, Phil. He's admitted to it.
That explains it, right?
Well, yeah. I use my catapult, so you know.
So we're going to be covering the Terrifier from 2018 today. Phil, this was one of your choices because, like I said earlier, we were meant to be covering The Running Man, but James can't make it this week, so we've opted to do this film. It says a little bonus episode, which is pretty cool. Phil, why did you choose Terrifier?
Well, it's just a film that I thought has really sort of brought back the slasher genre in quite a big way, really, in more recent times. It's really, really gory. It's infamous for one particular scene as well, as we'll get to talking about. That was basically it, really. It's I love the old school slasher films, and I thought it sort of really brought that back into the limelight a bit with in the cult scene.
Nice. I'm just looking up at the budget information now. It was made from this is from Wikipedia, by the way, so apologies if it's wrong. Made for between $35 million and $55 million, and gross at the box office $421 million. So quite the success.
It was also from 2016, Dan. So.
Yeah, I've been back and forth on that because it's some sources call it 2018, which is when it was released theatrically in the US, and then obviously it was released in 2016 at a festival, I think, as well. So I'm going with the theatrical release date for this one.
It was made on a budget of $35,000, by the way.
Oh shit! Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
and
sorry.
It made like 10 times back or something like that.
I've just added 3 extra zeros, so... Yeah, I think we mentioned on the first episode that it's one of the most profitable horror films, from budget size to what it actually made back, along with, like, Paranormal Activity and the original Halloween. I think it's Terrifier, I think that's the order it went in. Halloween, Paranormal Activity, and now Terrifier, I think, has made the most money on the smallest budget. I'd tell you something, though, watching this film, it certainly didn't look like a $35,000 film. Some of these effects were absolutely top-notch.
I would choose seeing cheaply made practical effects that really look fucking good over shitty CGI any day of the week. So even though this film isn't something you'd watch often, because of its content and stuff, I would prefer to see more films made like this than any fucking big box office Hollywood shit any day of the week. I swear.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Swear to God.
I mean, how much of those, you get like the gross GDP of a small country to fund one of those Avengers movies.
Jesus,
and they look like fucking dog shit.
Weren't they doing like some episodes of like The Incredible Woman? They were costing like $60 million an episode to make or some shit like that.
The Incredible Woman, who's that?
What's it called? The Incredible...
Do you mean She-Hulk?
She-Hulk.
Oh, God.
Incredible Woman.
Yeah.
Me.
I'm going to just look it up per episode.
That should definitely be a new one, though.
I'm typing in The Incredible Woman, and it's not even on here. The fuck?
So it's funny how when you just make shit up in your brain, it just doesn't like translate into the real world, doesn't it?
25 million an episode apparently for
Jesus
She-Hulk.
Christ.
Fucking hell.
So
and it wasn't...
The Incredible Woman.
It was so shit as well.
Yeah, so I think the low budget often, as we've seen with Halloween, and we haven't covered Paranormal Activity, but we've all seen it. The lower budget forces you to be more creative, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just looking up now, Avengers Infinity War had a budget of $400 million.
Most of that was probably the actors in the movie thing as well.
Yeah, that was the payroll for the A-star.
Right, Dark Talkers, let's talk dark. Gents, we are here this morning, because this is a daytime podcast, to discuss Terrifier, released in either 2018 or 2016, depending on who you ask. Directed by Damien Leone, starring Jenna Cannell, Samantha Scafidi, and David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown. So, when was the first time you guys saw this? For me, this was a first watch. I'd have to be living under a rock to not know who the clown was and to not see clips of it, but this was a first time full playthrough.
Phil, would you like to go first, as you chose this film?
So I actually saw the actual film only about 3 years ago, which was when I actually discovered there was an actual film about it, because I had originally watched the 20-minute short in about 2012, which was released in 2011, which was also later featured in All Hallows Eve. So yeah, about 3 years ago was when I finally saw this film. Quite late to the party as well.
Like you, Dan, I had seen videos and images, and I mean, it was inescapable, wasn't it? But I was very, very late to the party. I only saw this, God, when was it? Probably last year, I think. And I actually avoided it. I remember seeing pictures of Art and just the name Terrifier, and it's been on Prime for ages, so, but I remember avoiding it and just being like, I don't think this is going to be the kind of thing that I like. And I was talking to a man in work who's he's quite a gentle person, gentle soul, born again Christian, and I was talking to him about horror films, and he was like, oh yeah, you need to watch that. And I was like, you seen this? And he was like, yeah, I love all that kind of stuff. And I was like, fucking hell. So I watched it like that night, and I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah,
I was too. I knew it's basically, I mean, there's not much in the ways of plot for this film. It's basically like they decided what kills and special effects they wanted to do and just retroactively forced a story back around it. Yeah, pleasantly surprised. Again, I'm like you, Paul. Clowns don't really do much to me. They don't scare me. Just not really into them. So I really did put off watching this for a long time. But yeah, I'm glad I did, because I thought this was fucking so much fun. It was so much fun.
Yeah, that's a good summation, because it is.
David Howard,
it is a really fun film.
David Howard Thornton was really good as the clown as well when he's
let's get into dead good. He's so fucking good.
Yeah, well, let's just get into the clown first. Let's talk about Art. So I'd say he's definitely now up there in the horror icon category, probably one of the most famous, especially now after the release of Terrifier 3. Yeah, so what exactly is he? He's a clown, just a murder clown. That's it. He has no. And bear in mind, I haven't seen the sequels yet, so I'm sure I'm going to get corrected on this. He's basically just a murder clown who's immortal with no backstory thus far.
Well, Phil, I believe you've seen the shorts with Art the Clown, haven't you?
I'd never seen All Hallows Eve, to be honest, before watching Terrifier. Before I was about to watch Terrifier this time, so I decided to watch it. Yeah, so it does give you a little bit of a backstory in that he's got something to do with Satan, serving Satan.
Right. So because there's a bit of a twist at the end of the film that I didn't see coming, and then there's another twist right at the end that I did see coming, but it left me with a lot more questions. I was like, what? But we'll get into that as we go. So the film opens up and we are treated to a TV interview. There's a host and she is horrible. She is vile. She is interviewing a disfigured woman, a survivor of Art's rampage. And this is the whole film is like a flashback. So this is the framing tale. This nameless woman she's got her face mangled up. She looks like Gary Oldman's character in Hannibal. She's like really like mangled scar tissue. Really gross practical effects. Looks really great, actually.
Really good. Really good practical effects there. Yeah. Really good makeup.
So we get this vile talk show host. She's cartoonishly evil on the phone to her partner, and she's like, oh yeah, if I ever end up like a mangled piece of shit like that girl, just put me out of my goddamn fucking misery. Yeah, so the guest on the show, we get a jump scare when she jumps out from behind the clothes, and she mangles the TV host in a bit of, ironic punishment division.
Yeah.
Yeah, really really strong way to open the film, because the practical effects, again, the blood pouring off the TV host's face is pretty gross.
It's pretty grim. And quite a shocking way to open a film, to just let you know that this film is going to provide for you. It's not going to be
means business.
Yeah, it means proper.
Never seen a more deserved death though.
Oh no, yeah. I think she lives, because she's like twitching at the end, and after everything she said to her partner, it's all I think it's meant to be like, oh yeah, now you're the disfigured one.
Maybe.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. And ironically, she does take her eye out as well, doesn't she?
Yeah, she makes her look exactly the same. So we don't know who this disfigured woman is, but we will come to find out towards the end of the film. So we flash back now to the night... No, sorry. Scratch that. While all this is going on, we get the credits, and we get Art the Clown prepping his weapons in his murder shed. So he's got like rusty hacksaws, nail guns, all kinds of like gross looking tetanus inducing shit. What do you think of the intro?
I thought it was a good way to introduce you to his bag of tricks, really, as well. Like, it's got to be the strongest bin bag in history as well. That.
Oh yeah, so like, what is he carrying?
It's
that
just
bin
a bin bag that he carries.
It's all of his shit, isn't it?
Yeah, from seeing anything else, from seeing like All Hallows Eve, you can see he's got so many tools in that bag, and it's just a bin bag.
Yeah, I never twigged that. I thought he was carrying body parts in it. Yeah. Oh yeah. His weapons make sense, doesn't it? Yeah.
Later on in the film, though, when he runs out of bullets, he goes back to the bag and he's going through it, and he pulls out a clip.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. However, I
managed to find a clip.
I didn't remember that. I thought it was either body parts or feces, to be honest, up until when it does reveal that.
Yeah. Again, like I said, there's not much in the way of plot for this film, so I'm going to sort of like skip over the plot. We'll just sort of like go through the kills, basically. But we meet two friends who are on a Halloween night out. Is it Dawn and Tara? So they bump into Art the Clown, who is played expertly in this film. His mannerisms, he's very creepy, but he's also so funny. Like, it's like, he's really fucking funny. So they draw the ire of Art the Clown, and he decides to display his talents by basically murdering them and murdering anyone else that comes into his path. So they meet him at a pizza house, and Art gets thrown out of the pizza house for like, I don't know, what does he do in that toilet? Like, there's explosive diarrhea. Like,
he smears his shit everywhere.
Jizzes all over the place, and he like paints his own name in the walls. It's just, it's fucking gross.
Again, that's something that he does in the Terrifier short, in the petrol store, the gas station. Yeah, then he gets thrown out of the gas station for doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah, he's a big fan of smearing.
So he kills the two owners of this pizza area. Hey, I'm walking here. Like, murders them in such a very brutal fashion. So the first death is now it's the he turns the pizza owner's head into a jack-o'-lantern, just like on is it one of the Halloween films that Michael does this, one of the newer ones, to one of the cops? Doesn't he jack-o'-lantern a cop's head in the 2018 film?
We should know this, really.
Yeah, he does. I'm sure he does. Yeah, and it was almost like exactly like that. But obviously, this film, Terrifier, did it first. So yeah, there you go, Blumhouse, for copying that one.
Nice one, David Gordon.
Yeah, but this second murder of the toilet cleaner, this was a particularly brutal one, because he just comes running in with this meat cleaver, and instantly the fingers come flying off. He stabs him in the temple, and he's there just stabbing him in the face. And fucking amazing looking practical effects in this. I was very impressed. It just pulls no punches. Like, none of this cutting away shit. Just absolutely balls to the wall. Fucking crazy.
It's mad that you don't see this kind of shit these days, do you? Really? Because a lot of modern stuff is like based around jump scares and like trying to trick you into thinking things are there when they're not. And camera work, cutting away, is like one of the fucking stupidest things in film ever. Yeah. I so much appreciate the fact that they don't cut away. Let's just say, like Kill List with the hammer death in Kill List, where you think it would probably cut away, and it could do, but they just don't, and it's like, fucking yeah.
It's something I've never got. It's when people say like, oh yeah, cutting away is, it leaves it up to the audience's imagination, because there's, you can imagine worse than what's happening on TV, and I sort of understand that, but then I prefer to just like see what you can do. If I'm watching a horror film, I want to see all this gross shit.
I'm not fucking paying to watch a film so I can use my imagination. Fuck am I like a 5-year-old? Show me the shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So Dawn and Tara are stranded. They've got a flat tire. probably caused by art. So they're stuck,
Definitely.
in 1 a.m. in the middle of this shitbag city, and they phone Tara's sister to come and pick them up. But in the meantime, Tara has to go pee, so she goes into this. What is it? What is this place? It's like I thought it was like a block of flats, an apartment building, but then it's also like a warehouse but it's also like a car park, and it's stored full of tyres and forklifts. And then there's this like homeless woman that lives there. She's got this baby doll, but also it's implied that Art himself lives there. And what the fuck's going on?
It's also got like underground tunnels that lead to different places.
It's fucking mad.
It's mental. I do love the setting though, and I honestly think that obviously with their very, very low budget, that they've shot the best place they could find from the outside, and then they've just done what they could for the inside parts and spliced them together, so it's just this one like hellish fucking building full of loads of different shit, and it like adds to like the feeling of the film, like because everything in there is fucking horrible, and it's like
it's very dreamlike.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's like almost hell, like like you are going in there and you're entering fucking hell because it's full of rats. It's full of fucking weirdos. Yeah,
that fucking pest control guy. He's like, yeah, I was just about to set off the pesticide bomb, and she's like, what, for roaches? And he's like, no, rats. Now, is that a thing? Do they really gas buildings just to kill rats? You'd have fucking dead rats everywhere. Is that a thing that happens? I don't think it is. They like set traps and like throw cats in the building and stuff like that. They don't set off fucking pesticide bombs.
We have 1,000 cats to catch your 1,000,000 rats. They probably.
I mean, there are loads of cats in the building anyway because of the cat lady. There's loads of cats there anyway.
Yeah, she's called the cat lady, but she carries a baby around with her. I'm gonna Google it now. Yeah. Yes, pesticide bombs, specifically rodent smoke bombs, are sometimes used for rat control, but they are not a long-term solution. There you go.
Well, there you go. Welcome to
Every
Rat
day's a
Talk.
school day.
Rat Talk. Dark rat.
Yeah, so I really like the setting. Even it's very dreamlike, but it's just fucking bizarre.
Perfect setting for this kind of film, but not one that you'd find very often in real life because it's got so many different aspects of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you said, it's a dark apartment block and looks like a garage and all sorts there, doesn't it? So
maybe that's why it's infested with rats, and that's why they've hired an exterminator to go in. They're going to clear it out, and it's going to become apartments because it was just used by vagabonds.
Part of it looked like the building from Session 9. Like just this fucking weird, shitty, asbestos-laden death trap. So, Tara needs to have a piss. Now, she can't just go for a piss in an alleyway like a normal person. She has to go to the murder, death, kill building. She goes in, and while she is gone, Dawn is sat in the car listening to the radio. And it's one of those proper, like, cheesy, like a horror film set in, like, the 1940s. There'll be a couple on Lover's Lane, get out, and then they'll hear on the radio, an escaped axe murderer is there on Makeout Lane. And then the escaped axe murderer it's like, there's an escaped clown, and he's murdered 2 men in a pizzeria. He's black and grey, and he's absolutely fucking mental. And you, Dawn, took a selfie with him 5 minutes ago. And she's like, oh no. And lo and behold, Art gets into the car with Dawn, and well, we'll see what happens to her later on.
I like that though. I like that old-fashioned cliche kind of thing and it does sound like it's from like the 30s or something. I don't know. It adds to the whole aesthetic of this. Fucking horrible
it's
film.
a fucking bizarre film, and it's like it's cheesy and it's over the top, but it's cool. I'm not knocking it. I really like it. So inside the building, Art stalks Tara and captures her. And she wakes up tied to a chair, and is this where he's like threatening her with a hammer? He's like swinging the hammer at her. He's got and he puts the hacksaw to her throat, and he like runs it across her.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got her tied to the chair. This Nev Campbell looking woman, and then he walks over and reveals her best mate hanging upside down.
No, Dawn is hanging upside down, in the middle of doing a split-legged moonsault, and fucking split-legged she will be, because fuck me, this is definitely the most infamous part of the film. It's the part I'd seen many, many times before I'd actually sat down and watched this film. Art has been watching his Bone Tomahawk tapes, and he decides to...
That was what I was thinking as well, yeah.
Now he decides to bisect Dawn, vagina first, with this rusty hacksaw. Fucking, what did you think of this? What did you think of this? I can't believe I had to say that out loud.
Vagina first.
Absolutely stunning practical effects.
Oh, fucking insane practical effects. Absolutely mental.
It took them all night to do the scene as well, apparently.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so the actress was like hung upside down.
They kept having to do like sort of 40-odd second little takes with her hanging upside down because she couldn't handle it for long. And it was like below zero, and she was like, basically nude the entire night.
But apparently the crew were all really nice to her, and David Howard Thornton was really comforting.
Good, yeah, because I was thinking about this film. I was thinking it would feel very at home in the 1970s as like an exploitation movie. And I imagine if they did shoot this scene in the 70s, then the director and all the crew would just be a bunch of fucking wankers to her.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So after watching her best friend get sawn in half, but like not in half the good way, if there is a good way.
You'd want someone to start from the top, really, wouldn't you?
Well, it's like that bit on South Park, isn't it? When the teacher tries to kill himself and he goes to put himself, it's the woodwork teacher, puts himself on the chainsaw and he's going crotch first. He's like, Jesus Christ, what am I thinking? That would hurt like hell. Richard.
That's a fucking mental episode, that is. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So, Tara...
Oh, those fucking flashbacks. It's like, Richard, no! It's like blood splattering and stuff. Fucking hell.
Come watch me fly, Richard. Yeah, so Tara manages to break free from her restraints and she gets chased through the... I'm just going to call it a parking lot. I'm going to call it a warehouse. A warehouse. That's better.
Yeah.
She gets chased through the warehouse by Art the Clown. And I thought to myself, there is not nearly enough blood on this clown because he's like still got patches of white on him. He's just sawn a woman in half. And, that's not counting the other two murders he's already committed.
Do you know what, though? With the whole...
He's obviously used to doing this sort of
thing. The whole
being
being sawn in half. I was very surprised that he didn't finish the job. I know Tara escapes. Because, imagine, the two halves just, swaying like that. That would have been pretty sick to see. But maybe they couldn't get it to look like that. I don't know. Maybe they preferred it how it was.
Yeah, I think I do prefer it not all the way finished, because I think his work's been interrupted, and I think it's the visual of the body still partly together looks better than two hanging slabs of meat, I think.
I would have liked to just seen the swaying, you know what I mean? I'm doing the actions now for anyone listening. Swaying.
So Tara, she escapes. She's being chased by Art, and she gets a hacksaw of her own, and she goes Jim Duggan on his fucking clown ass and beats him to death with a 2x4. Well, she didn't beat him to death, but yeah.
There's always a handy 2x4.
Yeah. I actually was surprised at this bit because she's winning, and she beats him like that. And he just pulls out this fucking piece and just blasts her. Which I thought was really fucking funny because, you expect a killer like that to just be knives and stabbing weapons. But
knives and stabbing weapons. Well, the director, apparently, he wanted to, go against all expectations and be like he's not just like a Michael Myers who wouldn't use a gun.
Yeah, you can definitely tell. That's what I was thinking. It was he's...
It's
this is definitely from the director to play with us, the audience.
Yeah. This killer doesn't have any rules or anything apart from not speaking. He's just gonna fucking kill you no matter what. But I remember listening to something about it, skipping ahead slightly because he doesn't kill her just yet. But when he's using the gun, he almost looks bored because it's not inventive enough,
We get a Tarantino POV shot of Art standing over her with the gun. He runs out of ammo. And the look on his face when he goes to fire the kill shot, he just rolls his eyes. He's like, oh, for fuck's sake. That's what's going through his mind. It's fucking great.
That's when he goes to his bag, isn't it?
I do like the added little bit of comedy in this film, from Art.
Yeah, he's very camp, but he doesn't overdo it. I think the only times he's acting like a clown is the beginning when he's trying to purposely scare him and act weird, and then the rest of it, he's just like an exasperated, oh, for fuck's sake, I've got to go and get some more bullets for the gun now. Ugh. And he's really slapstick with it. Yeah, really funny.
Can while we're on this, can I just talk about David Howard Thornton for a sec? So we will have some on our trivia of the week in a bit, but he's a mime. He's got a mime background, and he envisioned the role. He was inspired by fucking Mr. Bean and stuff. He envisioned doing the role almost like a silent actor, comedian kind of thing. And during his audition, he mimed out eating a body part and like he was pissed off because he had to put salt on it to make it taste better. So like, I can imagine like the people auditioning him just thinking, "Fuck, we have fucking gold here." Like, but yeah, David Howard Thornton does have a mime background, so he incorporated a lot of like mime type stuff into it, like him fucking getting pissed off with that he's run out of bullets and then being like,
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Really, really good. Really, really good. I don't think the film would be anywhere near as successful without his performance.
Mm-hmm.
I say it's his performance and it's the graphic kills. I think are just like fucking amazing.
Well, Phil, I'm going to call back to you because you've seen the shorts, haven't you? Which wasn't David Howard Thornton. He's been played by two other guys before him in the original short.
Yeah, so it was Mike Gianelli originally.
What did you make of his performance?
What's his name? Damien Leone was actually quoted as saying, whereas Mike Gianelli was playing a clown, David Howard Thornton was a clown, was Art the Clown. And yeah, I completely agree with that. It feels like you're actually watching a mime clown killing people in this film as opposed to in All Hallows Eve where it's just a guy in a clown suit.
There's a very, pardon the pun, there's an art to it, to playing a clown. Like,
yeah, for like a feature-length
definitely.
film, they're not going to get just a guy in a fucking clown costume, are they? They're going to get a man who can be a performer, and art is like all about performing, especially his kills in front of other people and that, you know.
I think they were quite lucky there as well. It was they got quite lucky that they got somebody that could add something to it, because you could get very lazy by just making a clown costume and just having somebody wander around slashing people. They got very lucky that they got the actor that they did, and he adds so much flair to the role. Absolutely, brilliant.
The film wouldn't have been as successful. I don't think we would have had a sequel and a third film as well. And it reminds me a lot of Robert Englund in Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, without him playing Freddy, those films wouldn't have been what they are.
Absolutely.
And also in Nightmare 2, they tried to replace Robert Englund, and they were like, well, it's just a guy in a Freddy costume. They were going to replace him, and then someone came across and went like, no, Robert Englund is Freddy.
Yeah.
So I can imagine like if they tried to do that with Terrifier 2, they'd be like, oh yeah, I don't fucking think anybody else can do this role as well as.
It's kind of like going into Friday the 13th. So when Kane Hodder becomes Jason in the later ones, that performance is so like attached to the character, you know, because he's just so much angrier, like his heavy breathing and just the way he moves. Like the Jasons before that are interchangeable. I think, you know, it's like somebody making the role their own. Yeah, but I think absolutely yeah. So one kill. So I had to kind of eat my words on this next kill. So one kill I was very disappointed by was I think his name's Mike. He's the pest control guy. He's going down the stairs and he gets ambushed by Art, who smacks him in the face with a hammer, and it just looked so shit. In a sea full of amazing kills, I thought, God, that was really, really crap. The hammer doesn't even seem to make contact. So I was like, you know, saying to myself, well, that was a bit pants. Poor, you know, what a bad death.
Yeah, a bit anticlimactic,
but fuck me, does that guy get a fucking horrendous death later on? I'm just going to go through the kills. There's no point recapping the plot so much for this. So while he's trying to escape the building with Dawn, Art attacks him, and what does he drop on his head? Is it like a bucket or a cylinder or something? He smashes his head in.
He stamps on him. He gives him the old...
he stamps on him, yeah.
Oh, does he stamp on it? Sorry,
he gives him a good old Seth Rollins curb stomp.
Oh, right, yeah. So Art stamps on Mike's head and fucking like his head explodes. It's absolute American History X. Fucking gross shit.
Just before we go on though, there's the scene with the cat lady, as she's called, where her baby is missing, and she finds Art rocking the baby in his arms.
But the baby is actually just a plastic doll.
The baby is a plastic doll, yeah. However, the baby's name is Emily. And that might come into play in the next film a wee little bit. Maybe.
Ah, well, I shall look forward to that one.
Yes.
Yeah, so we don't see what happens to this crazy cat doll baby lady, but we do sort of see some of the results after. So while all this has been going on, Tara's sister is Vic, who has come to pick her up. And she has gone into this murder warehouse. And after a long slow. This was a very tedious part of the film. I think he's trying to build tension, but he doesn't need to. There's a lot of characters wandering around looking at nothing, and I think it's meant to be scary, but it's just not. So I was just like, hurry up and get on with it. I want to see some blood. Yeah, so she finds the body of Dawn hanging up, and she runs into a room and she finds what she thinks is her sister moving, and she's like, oh my god, Tara, you're still alive. And she goes to like cradle Tara, and then from the other side of the room Tara reaches over and is like, help me. She looks down, and the body that she is holding is actually Art. And he's fucking... This was a horrible looking visual. Like, he skinned the crazy Catwoman, he's wearing her breasts, and he's wearing her wig, and he's like mincing around the room chasing her. Absolutely gross. Really scary shit, actually.
I loved it. I fucking pissed myself watching this. Like, the first time I watching it last night in bed, I was fucking giggling my ass off, because he's so like, he just doesn't care. Like, the police could be on their way or anything, and he's just like, sort of, as you say, he's just dancing. Yeah. He's like fucking gold dust or something, and he's just like doing twirls, doing dance moves. Also, plus the bit when she goes to get the woman, and then the cat lady turns over and like screams to her. It reminded me so much of the ending of Sleepaway Camp, with the twist ending, let's just say. Yeah. Like, I don't know what... I had to rewind it because I don't know whether it was her face, her expressions, the nakedness in the hair. I don't know what it was.
That makes sense, because I noticed quite a few homages to big horror films in this. So on the radio, they mention Craven House, which is obviously a nod to Wes Craven.
Yeah. Wes Craven.
There's a bit where Art's riding around on this trike, like the puppet from Saw.
Yeah. Big
like time. Saw, yeah.
And there is a bit at the start, well, not at the start, a bit during the first chase scene where, Tara is hiding and looking under the cars, and she can see his boots. Now, the piano music in that it's taken from Halloween, almost verbatim. It's like, so yeah, that would make sense if it was a nod to Sleepaway Camp, yeah.
I don't know if it definitely was, but it was just her face and the way she looked, sort of looking sideways. It just reminded me a lot of that. I've got a very similar feeling to it.
Absolutely, yeah. I'd say this is probably the scariest he looks. Like, he looks like Marilyn Manson in an early video. Just gross shit. This is probably one of the scariest he looks in the film, I'd say.
It is, but it also made me laugh more than anything else in the film as well. It's just so fucking funny. I love it.
I also thought that the amount of hair that he was actually wearing was not representative by how much hair he actually cut off the cat lady.
No,
because he didn't cut all of her hair. He didn't scalp her completely. He only scalped her on the top of her head, but he's got a lot more hair. Did you notice that?
Yeah, he didn't want to take too much hair off her, but he was happy to take her breasts off and wear them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Her entire chest. Just gone, like...
We get another death with this is just like completely thrown in. A second pest control guy just turns up. He just gets... first he makes a Pez dispenser out of him, then he beheads him completely, but he's also got his head on a spike and he's like waving it around. Yeah, very sick stuff. Very, very gross.
This is probably the most brutal death.
And then he just kicks his head away.
Fucking Orton punts his head across the room. But for me, this is probably the most graphic and feelings-inducing death, because it does look really real. Like, the way his head's like ragging around as he's soaring through. Like, you could say that the vagina first death is like the most brutal and the most iconic from the film. But this one, do you remember, like 15 years ago, maybe more, when like death videos were going around the internet and people would just send each other like fucking horrible, that kind of shit. And
I remember a few of them were pretty gross.
Yeah, and it really did look real. Just the way his head was moving while he was doing it, and it was just like, horrible death. Yeah. Great though, like amazing visuals, amazing.
I felt like there was also a sound effect missing there as well. When he actually like does the last pull of his head to disconnect it, there was a sound effect missing there, right. like a snapping sort of sound or something like that. I thought it was missing there.
Like that.
No, they should have used like a slide whistle from Halloween 5. Yeah, so we're pretty much getting into the end of the film now. So Art chases down... I keep getting these sisters' names. This one's Vic, right?
Yeah.
This one's Vicky, yeah.
So he chases down Vicky, basically eats her face off, which disfigures her. So she is the woman from the start, the disfigured woman on the talk show. The cops are there. They've got their guns trained on Art. They're like, get up now, motherfucker, get up. And he pulls his gun out, sticks it in his mouth. Kurt Cobain's himself, blows his brains out, and yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, adios, motherfucker.
So at this point, I was like, oh shit, he's dead. What's going on? And then, they take him to the morgue, and obviously the twist is that he's going to be alive. The MD, the mortuary worker, unzips the body bag, and Art is staring at him with a big grin. We get some spooky lights out effects, and then what does Art do? Paul, take us through what Art does to this man.
Art kills him. Yeah,
do you see? I'm asking you because I can't remember what happens.
Yeah, he pulls his eye out, doesn't he? Go on, Phil, tell us, because I'm a bit foggy as well.
The coroner now.
Yeah, the coroner. Yeah, so the coroner opens the body bag, and Art is inside, grinning at him. Art is actually, to the surprise of no one, still alive, and you can see his brains hanging out the back of his head. Fucking really funny.
Yeah.
He murders the coroner, and that's pretty much the end of the film. But we do see
that's the end of the film.
Yeah, we do see like a little afterthought where what happens to Vic.
It's the reveal that she is her, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah, from the beginning of the film. If you hadn't figured that out already, she is the disfigured woman from the start of the film. So she's there with her parents, and she gets wheeled off, and yeah, that's pretty much the end of the film. I feel like I'd have a lot more to say about all this once I've seen the sequel, plot-wise. For the film itself, I'll say what a piece of work this was. Really, really good. Really enjoyed this.
Yeah, it was an homage to old slasher films with like the B-movie grindhouse type of shit going on.
Definitely like an exploitation film.
Yeah, absolutely.
But even the music matches up closely with like sort of late 70s, early 80s sort of slasher films, doesn't it? Right from the beginning, the music's the same sort of thing.
I would fucking love to make some music for a film like this. Oh my god.
Absolute sleeper hit.
It's a shame in this there isn't more storyline. Even the director was kind of gutted as an afterthought that he hadn't padded out the stories of the characters more.
I think that's to its benefit though. I think because this is became such a sleeper hit, and he's got Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 3. Now, I know there's a lot more lore and story that's gone into them films, so I think he's had his chance to do that there. I haven't seen them, I'm just going to assume that. So I think to its benefit, this is just kills, and I think they, again, like I said, they decided what they wanted to do, murder-wise, and just wrote a shit story around it, and that's fine. I fucking loved it. It's fucking brilliant.
Do you know what? We don't need traumatized backstory of one character and all this shit. We can just have a film where these two people just happen to be on a night out and run into a psychopath, and the same with the exterminators who are just working, trying to fucking earn some cash and running into a psychopath, and the pizzeria guys, we don't have to have like a deep backstory about these people. Like, I love that about this film, that you can just watch it and you don't have to think too much and just fucking enjoy it, you know what I mean? As well as like not having to think too much about these characters and feel sympathy for them. Like they all still do a fine job of what they're doing, and they clearly went through a lot to be in these roles. And like I really like the acting as well. I know like people shit on the acting in this, but it reminded me of like Clerks and stuff like that, like older low budget films, like start out films, where the acting isn't the best, but I don't need fucking Oscar worthy acting for a film like this. It's everything that it wants to be, and it delivers perfectly.
I wouldn't even call it the acting is the problem. I think the acting is perfectly cromulent. It's more it's the writing. The writing's just suffers.
Oh yeah,
it's so stilted and like it's almost like porn writing.
It is, but it fits perfectly within the film of what we're watching. I don't need like fucking poetry.
Oh yeah, I mean, that would be the one thing that I think is bad about this film. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a deal breaker. I can live with the rest of the acting. I can live with the writing being shit if it leads to, because one, the atmosphere is fucking amazing. The kills are amazing. It's dreamlike. The acting from Art is just perfect. I'm just going to rate this film now. I'm going to give it a 4, which means for me that's a high rating. That means it's a film I solidly enjoyed and recommend, and will be watching again. 4 out of 5. Yeah.
Nice. What about you, Phil? What would you rate this bad boy?
Yeah, I would go a 4, maybe a 4.5 for me, to be honest. It's definitely one of my favourite horrors. It's definitely of recent times.
Nice. Paul?
So I rate out of 10, as you know. So I'd give it a 9, maybe a 9.5, because it's a 10 out of 10 for what it is, right? It's what it set out to be. It fucking probably exceeded like expectations. Fuck it, it's a 10 out of 10 for what it is, for the type of film it is. I wouldn't say it's better than like, I don't know, films that aren't horror / gore films.
Compared to The Godfather, it's not a 10 out of 10 film. But compared like, if you're a fan of this genre, you're going in, you know what you're getting. If this is the kind of thing you want, then you're not going to find it better anywhere else.
Compared to like the Wicker Man remake, it's obviously not going to be on that level. But for a fucking hour and 25-minute long film about a clown that kills people, it's a fucking 10 out of 10. It is so good. It as I say, it exceeds what you'd expect from the type of film that it is. Art the Clown, like fucking David Howard Thornton, just like, this guy. I need to see him in other things. Like, apparently he would like to play the Joker, and how fucking good would he be as the Joker? Have you seen his face without the makeup? He looks like the 90s animated Batman series Joker. He
has played the Joker.
Fuck off. How?
He has.
When?
In a short. It's a short fan film called Joker's Wild. I'm on his filmography now. Yeah, it's a short film.
Oh right. Well,
the Joker.
I mean, like,
he's also playing
in a proper.
Oh yeah,
proper
film.
Yeah.
It's Barry Keoghan's turn first.
I don't know if I don't think they're going to carry on with that plot of Barry Keoghan being the Joker.
No, I don't think that. I don't think they're going to make a second one of those films. Do you? I can't see it.
They made the Penguin series, didn't they? Which I have no interest in.
Yeah, I never mentioned that much. Anyway, so he's playing Screamboat Willie, in that stupid, twisted childhood Winnie the Pooh universe where, all those old Disney properties have become like public domain now. So you've got the Winnie the Pooh film and the
Blood and Honey,
that Mickey Mouse film.
Fair enough. I might watch it if he's in it, because he's clearly very talented, and if it's anything that could be inspired by Terrifier, then fucking hell yeah, I might give it a go.
We're going to skip the recast on this one because a lot of these characters are interchangeable, and it would be an insult to David Thornton to try and recast his role. Yes. Paul, have you got any trivia for us?
Yes, I have, actually. This is one of those films where you're going to find a lot of fucking trivia. So, time for bullshit trivia of the week. The ambulance that drives past Dawn as she listens to the radio broadcast in the car was unplanned. That was a real ambulance that drove by.
Right, because I was thinking that at the time. I was thinking when their car is outside the pizza place, right?
Yeah.
And
nearly.
They're like, there's been 2 murders and the place is swarming with cops, but there's fucking no police there at all until that ambulance went past. So they didn't even plan to put that in.
Yeah, they didn't even plan that. But the car isn't exactly outside the pizza place. They have to walk to it because when they're planning on what they're going to do instead of driving home, she's like, come on, let's go. And then they have to walk to it. It doesn't show how far away it is, but I assume it's far away enough that it's not right outside. Right, another bit of trivia. David Howard Thornton, we have discussed this already, who portrays Art the Clown, has previous mime experience, which he utilises in his performance. So I don't know if we need to talk about that again, because we already have.
Nah.
Okay, next bit. David Howard Thornton was the 6th person who auditioned for Art the Clown after Mike Gianelli retired from the role and acting altogether. During the audition, he began miming, tasting his beheaded victim's blood, then added salt to it to improve its flavour. This is what got him the role. Just what can you say? We already mentioned it earlier, but obviously very talented, and that's pretty funny, to be fair. Damien Leone created Art the Clown because he felt like the 2010s lacked an iconic horror clown. However, he purposely made Art as different from its Pennywise as possible. For example, Art doesn't have hair, wears all black and white, uses weapons, and doesn't... So yeah, I've heard that a lot in like... I've in preparation for this, I just listen to stuff. I don't take notes or anything, but I listen to like fact videos and all that shit. And this has brought up quite a lot, the contrast between Pennywise and Art. And I don't even think it really needs to be said because it's a completely different thing. Pennywise is a form of like something else, and Art is just like more like a Michael Myers, Freddy, Jason classic slasher. So I'm glad there was no talking and laughing from Art. That adds a lot to it. Refreshing.
Less is more.
Even when he's in pain, he doesn't scream out or anything, does he?
David Howard Thornton, while on a break during filming, spotted 2 women arguing in the street. He decided to wave at them in full makeup and costume as Art the Clown and freaked them out. Phil, do you want to do some trivia, mate?
So the jack-o'-lantern that is in the pizzeria was actually CGI and added post-production. because Damien felt he wanted more of a Halloween look to it, which he didn't originally film.
Yeah.
I'd say that jack-o'-lantern is probably one of the weaker looking things gore-wise in the film.
Not the head jack-o'-lantern, the actual pumpkin jack-o'-lantern.
Oh, right, okay.
No, yeah. So there's a pumpkin jack-o'-lantern on the counter in the pizzeria. Right. And he added that post-production.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Right, yeah.
I'm really
I still
shit
stand
at
by
noticing stuff like that, so I'll have a look again at that. What are you saying, Dan? You still stand by what?
I still stand by the jack-o'-lantern head being like one of the weaker looking kills in the film compared to the rest of them.
Yeah, definitely. You don't see any kill happening or anything, do you, for a start? It's like, what did he do to him to get it to that point? Did he make him into a jack-o'-lantern before he cut his head off, or what?
Go on, Phil. What have you got? What else have you got?
And then also, Jenna Cannell also remained tied up between takes to sort of give her more of a psychological feeling towards the scene.
Staying in character.
So to like psychologically repair her, for the scene.
Did anybody else think that she looked like Neve Campbell? From the original Scream. I didn't so much the first time, but last night when I watched it, I just could not stop thinking about it. I was like, fucking hell. If they ever want to do like a Scream prequel, they could pick her. She looks so much like it.
She does. Right, guys, that was Terrifier. We've done our ratings already, so you pretty much know that we all unanimously loved this film, I thought, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It was a great film.
Was great. Phil, thank you for coming on the show. Will you come back and do Terrifier 2 with us?
Yeah, I'm happy to be here, and I'll happily come back again and do the pulls once I finally watch Terrifier 3 as well, because it's only come out last year.
And apparently there's a number 4 coming out as well.
Right, well, I've really enjoyed this, guys, so thank you everybody for listening. We'll see you next time for The Running Man. Goodbye and good night.